thank you for staying with Daybreak. We're having a conversation. We're calling it Youth and Politics. This is the conversation we have with young people, find out what their thoughts are in terms of governance, politics, and everything in between there, in their own words and descriptions, plus what they recommend going forward. Some of them already here. Apologies, some of them are running late. As soon as they come in, we'll drop them into the discussion. Marco Uko is here, is the Youth Coordinator, National Students Council of Kenya. Thank you for making time. Kimberly Marion is a Youth and Gender Inclusion Advocate. She's here. Thank you for making time. Beatrice Amondi is a Youth Advocate as well. Thank you for making time. And on the upper deck, Jimmy Mitua, Convener, Male Gender Champion. Thank you for making time. Now, we're still waiting for Kipkorir Brian, the UDA National Youth Affairs Chair, and Dave Owango, a Youth Leader. As soon as they come in, we'll loop them into this discussion. But I'll start with you in the order of attendance. And Kimberly, how would you describe the state of governance right now? Are we heading in the right direction or not?
Well, Trevor, heading in the right direction is very broad, if I may say. If we look at Kenya's state today, if we look at the things that have been going on in the country, we see that Kenya has some real economic potential with the tax deduction, with the salaries, with the ones with the salaries that are below 30,000 and all that. But also, looking at it from other perspective, we see that we still have a very deep social and political strains, as it's been clearly seen in the recent times, especially around the young people. Since I'm a youth advocate, I'll focus on the young people. You see, we still have rates of unemployment are still there. We still have the cost of living. As a country, it's still a problem, and there is also a mistrust in the leadership. So, however much we're growing as a nation in a right economic trajectory, we still have a lot of issues that need to be addressed so that we can stabilize as a country and go to the right direction.
When you say mistrust in leadership, what do you mean?
By mistrust in leadership, it's very clear, Trevor, as you can see from the social media to even the mainstream media, you can see that the young people are still complaining about our leadership. Take, for example, the leadership of today, the current sitting government. There's still a little bit of mistrust in the sense that the KK government are still not addressing the real issues that the young people are actually facing. We find that there's still a lot of high rates of unemployment. They're still not addressing that. They are bringing things like Nyota funds. Nyota funds, however much they are reliable, but how long term are they? Are they actually meeting all the youths, or are they meeting the large proportions of the youth that are unemployed? And as we speak on mistrust, we also speak on matters SHA. As we recently saw on the standards, there's some bit of looting and all that. So it means that the government of today still has to get their work in order, in the sense that they still have a lot of work to do so that they can gain the trust of the young people in matters economic development, in matters job creation, in matters education, and in matters health sector.
So as it stands, you don't trust them now?
To an extent, not really.
Okay. Let me bring in Beatrice here and hear what Beatrice's description of the current state of governance is. Are the issues that concern you being addressed in the right way or not? And what are those issues? So you narrow it down.
Trevor, I would really be interested if Miriam would have highlighted the concepts or the areas which she feels that the government is not doing a proper job. To begin with the ones that she has highlighted, I want to speak about employment, youth employment, and what the government is doing and what the government has done. We have the affordable housing program that is currently ongoing. As it stands, affordable housing program has employed over 500,000 of youths who were previously unemployed. We are also looking at the Nyota program. This is something that is directly attached to us as youths. And it's also imperative, Trevor, that we understand the concept of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The thread in the tapestry of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda is largely embedded on value chain addition. That is why we have the affordable housing program. We have youths working there. I think the question that Miriam would have wanted to ask, what then happens if the affordable housing program is complete? What happens to all the youths that are working in these sites, I say that this tapestry is embedded on value chain addition. And so to say, we have electricians working on these sites. We have plumbers working on these sites. We have tech surveys working on these sites. And after that, what happens to them? These houses are so many that are being constructed currently. And they'll still get employed because in the normal houses that we live in, we get our toilets blocked. We get our appliances with electrical issues. So this is the value chain addition that the president was looking at in the long term. What then happens to them? They'll still have something to do in the economy. What then happens to the Nyota program with the youths? We are looking at value chain addition. We cannot all be employed. We need to create employment for ourselves. Kenyan youths are very clever people, and they are very innovative, and they have the minds of entrepreneurs. So what the president is currently doing is ensuring that all this knowledge, all these skills are put into use because we are very entrepreneurial as a country. So the Nyota program is here to help us as youths create employment and also to employ other youths, other fellow youths. Okay. So in the long term, I think it's also imperative that we look at the concept of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. It is not something that is supposed to sort the immediate problem. Rather, it is something that should sort a longer-term project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kimberly highlighted 3 issues: unemployment, cost of living, and leadership mistrust. As a young person, do you feel the unemployment question has been properly addressed?
Up to a certain degree, I'd say it's up to 7% it has been addressed, Trevor. Because if currently we have about 500,000 of youths employed, for about 3 years now, that is something that we should speak about. I also want to speak about, what was that again?
The cost of living.
The cost of living, interesting.
And leadership mistrust.
Interesting. Again, on the line of bottom-up economic transformation agenda, what the president did was to subsidize production. And in subsidizing production, I'm going to emphasize on this value chain addition because it's a concept that we really need to understand as youths and where bottom-up is coming in. After subsidizing production, the production that we had was tremendous. And the effect we are feeling is in the longer chain, whereby we are going to buy our products on the shelves, the prices have reduced. So what then happens to this farmer? This farmer is able to sell more because we are able to purchase whatever is on the shelves. The prices have reduced. Previously, in the former government, we used about 8 billion to subsidize unga alone. If you're looking at sustainability, Trevor, then that is not something that we would want in our economy. It is not sustainable. So in subsidizing production, food prices have gone lower. And we are also seeing the larger perspective of the economy, the macro effect, which has also had some very significant changes in our economy. And also currently, the president is trying to address the issue of cost of living by trying to reduce taxation. We had to take some very difficult decisions, obviously, as he assumed power. That was really necessary, but at least now there's some relief, the working class. Right. And it's quite unfortunate, Trevor, that majority of Kenyans are in the informal sector. And for a long time, the formal sector have to carry the informal on their backs. Okay. So it's something that is paining the formal sector, but it is a decision that has had to be made. But currently, as we are looking at things, we are a bit stable as a country. That is why 1.5 million of Kenyans are going to experience that tax relief from 30 to 25%. So I think the president is also quite addressing the issue of cost of living. Okay, let me bring in Mark on this. Mark, have your issues as a young person being addressed by the current government? And what are those issues?
Yes, good morning, Trevor, and good morning to all our viewers. First of all, Trevor, let me say that even before responding to your question, I think the Kenya Kwanza government has come a very long way. Trevor, a year ago, President Ruto public acceptance rate was at a behavioral between 12 to 15% acceptance rate. And we must accept that President Ruto has done a lot of things between the last 1 year to end the unending youth protest that we had witnessed the past 1 year. And I feel like President Ruto has been substantively addressing some of the issues that the young people have been advocating towards him. And the integral issue that I think that has been of subject matter is the employment issue. Before even I come to the subject of the day-to-day that is enrollment, the Nyota program, there are quite a number of programs that President Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government had been implementing. One, we had the Uwezo Fund, we had the Kandarasi program, we had the Climate Works program. I had Beatrice talk a bit about the housing program. These are some of the programs that the government has been putting in place to cushion the unemployment rate that is in the country. You know, Trevor, if you want to gauge as to whether this government is performing or not, you need to go and check the Kenya Kwanza manifesto and what was their plan in terms of dealing with the unemployment issue we have in this country. And the whole fundamental idea is that we want the Kenya Kwanza government purpose to build systems that were socialist designed for the people. And the reason as to why I'm saying that they built systems that were socialist designed, for example, the Nyota program, it is a trickle-down system that the youth in the mashinani in Coast, a youth in the mashinani in Turukana, a youth in the mashinani in Nyanza, although you might see that 22,000 or the 50,000 is still little, but a number of them, they do not live in economies that will enable them to get that level of cash flow. And I think whether you check all these economic metrics, whether it's exchange rate, interest rates, etc., but the fundamentalism for the mwananchi who is at the level ground is, are they getting that cash flow? Because most of them live on a day-to-day basis, on hand to mouth. So I feel like the Kenya Kwanza government is adequately addressing some of these issues that young people we have been constantly putting forth to them. And I will just finally wish to say this. The Kenya Kwanza government, and I think I'll reiterate what Beatrice has also said, is always looking at things in the long-term sense. That we do not just start programs that because we want to solve unemployment, let's give every youth who is not unemployed a job. It is not sustainable. The Kenya Kwanza government is putting in systems that would enable the youthful population to build an entrepreneurial culture to deal with the unemployment rate in this country.
Okay, let me bring in now Jimmy on this. Jimmy, what are your thoughts? Is the country heading in the right direction or wrong direction, and what are the priority areas?
Good morning, Trevor, and my viewers. Let me begin by saying that I am surprised that young people are sugarcoating things, looking into starting with the manifesto that hood ahead. Foremost, the promise was that there was never going to be an increase in taxation. Let's begin there, because immediately we saw the KK government come into power. There has been taxation going all high. We had the housing levy coming on board, which was not really previously part of the conversation by the people, because people were on the street saying no. And you see, one of the things that surprises me is that actually the members of parliament are supposed to represent us. Young people were outside parliament telling them, hey, yo guys, we have sent you there to represent us. But they were doing contrarily opposite. So let's begin by saying that our true leadership is that one hears the voice of the people. There was not listening to the people. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're not listening to the needs of the people have sent you to represent them. You are not leading them. You are imposing, you are forcing. So let's begin by saying that it was imposed leadership, because the leadership we chose, or rather the leadership that Kenyans chose, is not the leadership that they saw. And that was the disconnect when KK government came into power. And now that we are talking about Nyota funding and all that, how is it sustainable? We are borrowing money that is going to accrue interest, and it is going to be paid with the interest. We have not even tested the methodologies of all this. It's like a quick thought decisions which are trying to sort out a wider problem, which is not really given. Because when you're talking about borrowing money to give to young people, it is just like a glorified handout, because is there a proper structure? How is it sustainable? Are we going to keep on borrowing money so that we can give to young people? I mean, and again, how many young people are we going to be able to reach with this borrowing and giving this money? And are all these young people really interested in doing business? Are they your business people? So there is quite a lot of assumptions, because what happens now when they will deplete the money that they are giving out for the businesses? And again, now the time is going to come now, we need to start paying back these. They are going to be paying back the money with their children. employment and so on. So there are many things that we are not factoring in. Even when we're talking about the housing levy, there is someone who is working, yes, you are paying for the housing levy, it has been given to someone else. There is also a conversation about 20 billion that was lost, that was being borrowed to really been put into the housing levy. There are a lot of conversations going on. And you ask yourself, are the people, are even their money is being taken, are they going to benefit? It is an assumption that the working class has the houses. Some of them, they don't even have houses. Are you looking into the issues of, in terms of, yes, this person is living in town, they are paying rent and all that, but are they interested in living in this city? Or probably they just want to build back in their homes. So there is a lot of conversations that had to be put into the place. And I keep on thinking that the KK government keeps on giving very quick, non-thought-of solutions. It's like someone just sleeps and you wake up and you really come up with a new idea. Is everything that is being implemented what was in the manifesto? Because again, there has to be, this is what I promised and this is what I'm delivering. And now that we are talking about, yes, some cost of living in terms of maize has come down and so on, but you also have to factor in other things. Like I've seen county governments who have given fertilizers, who have given even who have given seedlings to their farmers so that they can help to increase production. So you can't just say it is Ruto credit. There are county governments which are doing pretty much better. And you are seeing even the delays with the money being remitted to the counties, which sometimes it goes even to 3 months. How do you assume this devolution to really work with this kind of trajectory of not really following the constitution? Look at just was it yesterday we saw Huda Forum at State House.
Yeah, and
State House is not a party headquarters. It is a state institution that has to be respected, and that's why all the political parties have their own headquarters. Otherwise, it will just be another Huda thing. There has to be inclusive leadership, and this is not an attack on KK government. It is the realistic of what it is. Ruto keeps on claiming that he is following the constitution by the letter, but he is not, because you really have to look at the system and the structures. Respect those systems and the structures you are trying to really push on to us, and then we are going to follow by example.
Okay.
And I think we need to keep on reevaluating. You know, days are gone when we used to look at the politicians and say, yeah, this is the person you're supposed to be like. Even as young people are coming up in leadership and they are looking, who am I going to emulate? Do we have mentors? Do we have people we can say, I can really emulate this person? So there are a lot of tags on the but they are realistic because they are founded on the Constitution, and there is a lot of disregard of the Constitution.
Okay, I have to take a quick commercial break. When you come back, continue that conversation. You mentioned the whole meeting of the aspirants of the UDA at the State House. We'll talk about the political arrangements and where the youth are when it comes to that as well. See you in just a short while. Keep your views coming at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Daybreak. We'll read some of them during this broadcast. Don't go too far.